Yeah, it's just a mess. Hey everyone, it's Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. And welcome to Rachel's Rambles, a new series I'm hoping to do where I sit in this corner and ramble about my life and all sorts of different topics. My drink for tonight right now is some regular old H2O. In the future, I'm hoping to maybe feature a different wine or alcoholic drink recipe of the episode, which would be pretty cool since it's a lot easier for me to ramble when I'm just a little buzzed. And I'm already a little buzzed tonight because I just got back from a date at a bar. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to record the first episode. So here we are. This is going to be my first time recording in this little setup, in my little reading corner nook thingamajiggy with my ring light. I had already recorded a video in this setup. It was going to be a Glossier no makeup look tutorial that I did in like June, but obviously that never made it up there. I'm gonna be re-recording that soon since I just got my second order from Glossier over Black Friday. So stay tuned for that if you're into beauty stuff. But I feel like this series is gonna be a lot of dating rambling because I have a lot of that. Most of my stories are kind of dating related, even though I really haven't been dating lately. I kind of went through this phase this year. You know, it's end of 2019, end of 2018, and I feel like I didn't really go on any first dates this year. Maybe a handful, but not a lot. I went through a long period of time where I just didn't feel like getting to know anyone new. I didn't want to meet anyone new, like both like mentally, emotionally, and physically. You know what I'm saying? Do you get my gist? I was just like, I don't want to do this right now. So I just like went on like either just not talking to anyone and just being my own self, doing what I feel like, which is mostly sitting and watching Netflix in my bed. I would just hit up people that I already knew that I was comfortable with. So I just kind of went through that phase. It's just like, it's both just like, I don't have the emotional capacity and like the time to get to know anyone new right now. And also just like, I don't want to have to deal with a possible disappointment of like hooking up with someone new when they could just suck. Or not even just hookups, just like, yeah, I don't have the emotional capacity. I don't feel like wasting my time on another really bad first date. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time alone in my house for the past couple months, but I go kind of through like spurts where I'll just have like one night, once or twice a month maybe, where I go through and check on all my dating apps. You know, I have Tinder, OkCupid, Bumble. I think either in 2017 or 2016 I downloaded like all the dating apps where I had those three. Then I also had like Coffee Meets Bagel and Plenty of Fish, who still keeps on sending me constant emails, and I really need to unsubscribe. But in order to unsubscribe, I have to remember my login to my account, which I thought I canceled already, but clearly not, because they keep on telling me that blah-de-blah is interested in me or wants to meet me or whatever it is that they say in the email, I just like delete immediately because, yeah, the term plenty of fish is true. Like, okay, I get that you named your dating app Plenty of Fish because the big whole saying is, you know, after you break up with your boyfriend of 6 months, they're like, oh, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Just because there's plenty of fish in the sea doesn't mean any of them are good. Like, I live in central Pennsylvania, and when you're on a dating app, most of the people in my area are little country boys, especially when I'm living at my parents' house right now. We live in the middle of nowhere, so all there is to have cows and a field to plant things and go mudding or whatever, but we're not even in the South. You know, lots of hunting and fishing pics, which is not my style. I've been vegetarian for almost 10 years now. It's not attractive to me. Where's all the alt boys? There's a few, but they all suck. They're all named Josh. You know? Joshes aren't good for you. They're just not. They're not good for me. They haven't been good to any of my friends. I have a lot of friends who are married to J names, but I think they're both Justin. Justins are safe. Joshes are not. No. Actually, tonight, I thought I had gone on a date with every J male name possible, but then tonight I went on a date with a man named James. I hadn't had a James before. It was all right. It was fine, you know? It was fine. We met up at a bar that I like, the JB Love Drafts. It's like the one punk rock bar in Harrisburg. It's the only bar in the area that has Sailor Jerry's rum, which is my shit. So, love being able to roll up and be like, yo, get me rum and coke with Sailor Jerry's, please. Thanks. I had 2 of those and I was already set for the night. I thought about making another one at home for this video, but it's already 11:24, so that might not be a good idea. I like sleeping. I'm already set to just like go to sleep right after this, so that's why we have the water. Drink water with every alcoholic drink that you have, kids. It's the only right way to do it. Actually, the better way is to also have coconut water. Bring a bottle of coconut water when you go out drinking. Then, would that even do better? Or is coconut water only good for hangovers? Is it actually good for hangovers? It feels good. I haven't had a hangover in a long time. Because usually I just have 1 or 2 drinks, whether it's wine or liquor, and then I'm just good. I like being in a comfortable space. A comfortable space both physically and mentally. And like drunkenly, you know? I've never blacked out from drinking because I just don't like getting that far. I like just enjoying my drink, waiting to feel the effects. Usually the most dangerous thing I do is order a double of my rum and coke, and then after that I just don't order another drink because I'm good. So, or if I ever did get close to blacking out, I probably went to sleep before it could affect me. And then it just affects me while I'm sleeping, I guess. Be safe. Just don't. I only drink like a couple times a year. Outside of my house. In my house, I drink maybe like twice a month. So, I'm 24, I'm about to be 25. I've never had a crazy rager phase. That's fine. If you have had a crazy rager phase, that's fine too. I'm glad you're still alive. Truly. I'm glad you're here. I don't even know what I was ranting about earlier. Dating. You know, it's rough. I mean, it takes long enough to find someone worth going on a first date with, and then you have to convince them to meet you in real life. And then you do the thing. Well, one, you convince them that you want to meet in real life, and then you have to figure out each other's schedules and see if that's even possible. Because most of the time, I thought that by me now working 9 to 5, it'd be a lot easier to meet up with people. But then I somehow always just tend to end up meeting people who work third shift. Or they have multiple jobs, or they have one that's third shift and then another one on the weekends that's second shift or whatever. And then it's like, okay, see you never. Nice try. It was cool talking to you for 3 weeks just to find out that it's never gonna happen. So yeah, you match with someone who's halfway worth speaking to. Then you manage to get them to message you back or message you at all. And then you talk for a little bit and decide if they're even worth meeting in real life. Then once they reach that phase, then you have to do the schedule thing. And then you go through and figure it out if you can find a time. And then the time comes for your date. And then you have to, the time comes for your date and it may or may not actually happen. Maybe they just ghost you before your first date even happens. Or something comes up and they have to go to their friend's birthday party, or their aunt is in the hospital, or something stupid like that. So then the first date doesn't happen and it gets postponed, or it never happens at all. And then if you do happen to get the first date, after all this effort, it could just not be even worth the time. It could be awful. You could meet them, and within the first 10 minutes, they'll go on a whole rant about their relationship history, whether that be a very long history with many long relationships, or one that's like, oh, I had a girlfriend when I was 14, and we dated for 2 months, and that's my entire dating relationship history, and I have basically no experience, but it's nice to meet you. I think you're my dream girl. Yeah, that's exhausting. God, and then it's like, okay, I hate being ghosted. Ghosting sucks. It's just a horrible invention that's been created by online dating. But then it's like, yes, it sucks when it happens to you, but it's so easy to do to someone else. Because it's like, once you've decided, like, you've had your first date and went awful, and you're not really interested in them anymore, but you don't really want to say that at the end of the day. Be like, hey, had a lot of fun with you, but like, don't ever contact me again. I can't. I'm too nice of a person to do that. Have you ever done that? Has anyone you know done that before? Because I don't know if I could do that. Yeah, it's just easier to ghost. It's just easier to ignore the messages and just pretend that it never happened and just go on with your life. Just go on. But I know it's a horrible thing. It makes me feel like a bitch when I do it. There was this one guy who I went on a date with, similar to the scenario I just explained, where he described his dating experience within 10 minutes of getting to know each other, and we didn't really talk about anything else. Like, I tried to talk to him about music, and he was like, oh, I saw this one band when I was 14, and that's the only concert I've ever been to. I'm like, wow, that's cool. I've been going to concerts since I was like 5 years old. So that's a big difference. And then he was like, wow, you've seen that many concerts. What was your first concert? What was your favorite concert? I'm like, bitch, too many. I mean, thank you for your interest, but I cannot answer that. Why are you making me put in all the conversational effort here? Just because I've had more life experience. It's amazing the amount of dates I've gone on with guys where I have way more life experience than they do, and I'm younger than them. It's like, what have you been doing with your life? Were you in a cult? Did your parents really shelter you that much? I grew up as a pastor's kid. I thought I was sheltered, and I meet these guys who haven't done anything with their lives. So that's fun. And I like to think that, like, when I go on those type of dates, I'm like, man, maybe I should raise my standards. But with how hard it is to get a date in the first place, then I think maybe I should lower my standards so then I can get more dates. And maybe, you know, the lower the standards, the better the person might be. But I really don't think my standards are that high. You know, I just want someone that has stuff in common with me. Maybe I am really, truly the rare gem that I imagine myself to be. And it's just hard to find someone that has stuff in common with me that isn't a piece of shit. Or isn't already in a relationship, or already married, or live 5 hours, 6 hours, 15 hours away. And I don't want to do long distance relationships. I did a long distance relationship when I was a kid. Kid as in 17. And it lasted 3 years and I found out I was catfished. We'll save that story for later. That's a long one. Tried another long distance relationship last year. That clearly didn't last long. Lasted a month maybe. That was when I dated a younger boy. Never do that. Don't. Especially when you're still in like your like early to mid 20s. Like, just don't date boys that are younger than you. We are already above them. Like, I'm like mentally and emotionally more mature than guys my age, so why would I date a guy younger than me? That just makes it worse. Yeah, it's just a mess. I've been rambling for 17 minutes now, and I don't know when to stop. Oh god. By the way, this adorable Monstera leaf cup is from Bando, one of my favorite companies from LA. I'll link it below. Sweater's thrifted. Scrunchie is from Rite Aid. I'll link my glasses below too, since I get asked about that a lot. These earrings are thrifted. This is the introduction to my dating rants. I hope you enjoyed it. I will, maybe I'll follow up the next episode talking about my past relationships, you know, less recent. We'll talk about the catfishing incident of my high school days, which is always a very fun story. And then maybe we'll start rambling about some of the worst dates I've ever been on my life. There's a few of those. I've kind of already mentioned them on my Instagram, which, if you don't already follow me on Instagram, that's where you get the most of me. So I will have that down here and linked below as always. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you give it a thumbs up and let me know any comments below if you've had any similar experiences, or if you want any other rambling or commentary from me about different topics. Please let me know below so we can keep having this fun here. I'm gonna keep trying to be more active and post more frequently on my YouTube, all that. But you know, rambling again. Like and subscribe. I only post like once a month, but we're trying to do better. We're really trying. I only had 2 rum and cokes tonight. So this is my life now. I went on one date in December. It's probably the one date that I go on in all of December. And in 2019, I have declared is the year of focusing on myself because Ariana Grande said so. We are getting engagement rings to ourselves, okay, bitch? Join me. We don't have no time for this mess, okay? I mean, unless you're in a long-term committed relationship or you're engaged or married or whatever, then obviously do not break up with your man if he is good to you. But if you're single AF like me, just let it go. Let it go. I am deleting my dating apps in 2019 and focusing on my goddamn career. I said it here. It is official. Okay? Okay. Now y'all have a good evening, a good night, a good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is, where you are, whatever date it is that you're existing in while you watch this video. Have a good one. Like I said before, like and subscribe. It really, really helps me out here. I know I'm just kind of getting started, so I would really appreciate your support. Alrighty guys, see you next time.